You know what's wild? Right now, someone working a regular 9-to-5 job just paid 3 months' rent for a handbag they'll use maybe twice a year, and they don't even regret it. That's the crazy power of luxury fashion brands, and today we're diving into 15 of them that have middle-class shoppers absolutely hooked, even though deep down, everyone knows they're paying way more than these items are actually worth. But here's the thing. This isn't about judging anyone's choices. It's about understanding why smart, budget-conscious people willingly drain their bank accounts for these particular labels. What makes these brands so irresistible that people skip vacations, eat instant noodles for months, or max out credit cards just to own a piece of that luxury dream? Let's start at number 15 with Michael Kors. And this is where things get interesting, because Michael Kors perfectly represents what happens when a luxury brand becomes too accessible. Founded in 1981, this American brand became the go-to label for middle-class shoppers who wanted that luxury look without the absolutely crushing price tag. The problem is, Michael Kors made a critical mistake by flooding the market. You can find their bags at Macy's, at outlet malls, on sale constantly, and this availability killed the exclusivity factor. Here's the controversial truth. A Michael Kors bag might cost you $200 to $600, but the actual production cost is probably around $30 to $50. That's a markup of 400 to over 1,000%. The leather quality is decent, but nothing special. The hardware tarnishes relatively quickly, and the designs are safe and predictable. Yet millions of people still buy them because that MK logo represents their first step into the luxury world. It's an entry point, a starter luxury brand that signals you've moved up from regular department store bags. The brand knows exactly what they're doing, positioning themselves as affordable luxury, which is basically an oxymoron. But it works because people aren't just buying a bag, they're buying into the idea of luxury. And for many middle-class shoppers, Michael Kors is the most realistic way to display a designer logo without completely destroying their budget. Number 14 is Coach, the American leather goods company that's been around since 1941. And has mastered the art of making middle-class shoppers feel fancy. Coach has an interesting history because they actually started as a genuinely high-quality leather workshop in a Manhattan loft, creating durable, beautiful products that were meant to last forever. Fast forward to today, and Coach has become the brand your aunt, your boss, and half the people at the mall are carrying. They've expanded so aggressively that the exclusivity factor has completely evaporated. A Coach bag costs anywhere from $200 to $800 on average. And yes, their leather quality has declined over the decades as they've shifted production to maximize profits. The canvas signature print bags, those with the repeating C pattern, cost even less to produce than the leather ones, maybe $15 to $25 in materials and labor, yet they retail for $300 or more. But here's why people keep buying them. Coach has brilliant marketing that makes their products feel like an achievement. They create these emotional connections through their advertising, showing successful, confident women carrying Coach bags. They also have outlet stores everywhere, which creates this treasure hunt mentality where shoppers feel like they're getting a deal. The reality is those outlet products are often made specifically for outlets with lower quality materials, but the logo is the same, and that's what matters to most buyers. Coach understands that middle-class consumers want to feel elevated, and a Coach bag delivers that feeling at a price point that's painful but not completely impossible. Number 13 brings us to Kate Spade, the brand that practically invented the concept of quirky, colorful luxury for young professional women. Founded in 1993, Kate Spade became incredibly popular because they offered an alternative to the serious, stuffy luxury brands. Their aesthetic is playful, feminine, and fun, with bright colors, novelty designs, and that signature Spade logo. The brand targets women in their 20s and 30s who are building their careers and want accessories that feel sophisticated but not boring. Here's the harsh reality, though. Kate Spade products are manufactured in the same factories as many mid-range brands, often in China and Vietnam, where labor costs are low. A Kate Spade purse might retail for $250 to $500. But the production cost is likely $30 to $60. That's a markup of 300 to 700%. The leather quality is comparable to brands that cost half as much, and the construction, while decent, isn't anything extraordinary. So why do middle-class shoppers still empty their wallets for Kate Spade? Because the brand has successfully positioned itself as the fun luxury option. It's the brand you buy when you want to treat yourself but don't want to seem too serious or pretentious. Kate Spade makes luxury feel approachable and friendly, like that cool older sister who has her life together. The emotional appeal is powerful, and the company knows that their target customer isn't necessarily buying the highest quality. They're buying into a lifestyle and an identity that feels aspirational yet attainable. Coming in at number 12 is Tory Burch, the brand that exploded in popularity in the mid-2000s and became the unofficial uniform of upper-middle-class suburban women. Founded in 2004, Tory Burch positioned itself as preppy American luxury, and that double T logo became instantly recognizable. The brand's aesthetic is classic, polished, and safe, appealing to women who want to look put together without taking fashion risks. Those iconic Riva ballet flats became a status symbol, with women paying $250 or more for shoes that cost maybe $20 to $30 to produce. Tory Burch bags range from $300 to $600 typically, and while they're made from genuine leather, the quality isn't significantly better than brands that cost half as much. Here's the thing about Tory Burch that's both genius and slightly manipulative. The brand understood that their target customer wanted to signal a certain lifestyle. The preppy aesthetic suggests old money, country clubs, and effortless sophistication. Middle-class shoppers buy Tory Burch because they want to be associated with that world, even if they're nowhere near it financially. The brand creates this aspirational identity that feels more accessible than traditional luxury houses. You're not trying to be a Chanel woman, which feels unattainably elite. You're trying to be a Tory Burch woman, which feels like something you could actually achieve with some hard work and budget juggling. The markup is significant, probably 400 to 600%, but the psychological value to consumers makes it worth it in their minds. Number 11 is Burberry, the British heritage brand that's been around since 1856 and has one of the most recognizable patterns in fashion history. That tan, black, white, and red check print is instantly identifiable, and for middle-class shoppers, owning something with that pattern feels like owning a piece of fashion history. Burberry has an interesting position in the luxury market because they're considered entry-level luxury in places like the UK, but maintain a higher status in other markets like Asia and parts of the United States. A Burberry trench coat, their signature item, can cost anywhere from $1,800 to $3,000 or more. That's an absolutely massive investment for someone making $40,000 or $50,000 a year, yet people save up for years to buy one. The quality is genuinely better than fast fashion, with the classic trench coats being made in England and constructed to last decades. However, many of their other products, like scarves, small leather goods, and ready-to-wear pieces, are manufactured in China or other countries where production costs are much lower. A Burberry scarf might retail for $450, but cost maybe $40 to $60 to produce. That's a brutal markup. So why do middle-class consumers still prioritize Burberry? Because the brand carries weight and history. Wearing Burberry signals that you understand fashion heritage and have refined taste. It's also become a status symbol in many immigrant communities where luxury brands represent success and achievement. The controversial reality is that Burberry knows their brand power allows them to charge premium prices for products that don't always justify the cost, but the emotional and social value keeps customers coming back. At number 10, we have Gucci, and this is where we really enter the realm of brands that middle-class shoppers probably shouldn't be buying but absolutely cannot resist. Gucci has experienced a massive resurgence in recent years, transforming from a somewhat tired luxury brand into the hottest name in fashion. Under creative director Alessandro from 2015 to 2022, Gucci became maximalist, eccentric, and irresistibly Instagram-worthy. Those double G logos, the green and red stripe, the quirky designs with bees and snakes and florals, they all became instantly recognizable status symbols. Here's where it gets crazy. A Gucci belt, literally just a leather strap with a logo buckle, costs around $400 to $500 and probably costs less than $30 to manufacture. That's a markup of over 1,000%. A basic Gucci handbag starts at around $1,200 and goes up to several thousand, with production costs likely in the $150 to $300 range depending on the style. The leather quality is good, but not necessarily better than brands costing half as much. So why are middle-class people literally going into debt for Gucci? Because Gucci has successfully made itself the ultimate flex brand. In hip-hop culture, fashion culture, and social media culture, Gucci represents having made it. The brand is also smart about creating entry-level products like belts, card holders, and small accessories that allow middle-class consumers to own something with that coveted logo without completely bankrupting themselves. It's a gateway drug to luxury, and it works brilliantly. Number 9 is Prada, the Italian luxury house founded in 1913 that represents intellectual, minimalist luxury. Prada has always positioned itself as the thinking person's luxury brand, with clean lines, understated logos, and a focus on craftsmanship and innovation. That triangular Prada logo became a status symbol in the 1990s and remains powerful today. The Devil Wears Prada, both the book and the movie, cemented the brand's place in popular culture as the ultimate fashion insider label. A Prada nylon bag, yes, literally made of nylon, can cost $1,000 to $2,000 or more. Think about that. You're paying luxury prices for a material that's essentially high-end plastic. The production cost for these nylon bags is probably around $100, maybe less, making the markup absolutely astronomical. Their leather bags range from $2,000 to $4,000 typically, with production costs likely in the $300 to $500 range. So why do middle-class shoppers scrape together money for Prada? Because Prada represents sophistication and fashion knowledge. It's not as flashy as Gucci or as obviously branded as Louis Vuitton in many cases. Owning Prada signals that you're not just buying luxury for the logo, you're buying it because you understand quality and design, even if the actual quality doesn't always justify the price. Prada has also been smart about creating these cult items, like their nylon bags and their ugly beautiful shoes that become must-haves within fashion circles, driving demand among people who want to be seen as fashion-forward. Number 8 is Saint Laurent, formerly known as Yves Saint Laurent, the French luxury house that represents rock and roll elegance. Saint Laurent has positioned itself as the edgy, cool luxury brand, appealing to people who want high fashion with an attitude. Under creative director Hedi and later Anthony Vaccarello, the brand became synonymous with skinny silhouettes, leather jackets, and that bold YSL logo. A Saint Laurent bag can easily cost $2,000 to $4,000, with their popular Kate and Lulu styles being particular favorites. The quality is good, with Italian-made leather products and attention to construction, but the markup is still significant, probably 400% to 600% when you factor in actual production costs. Here's the controversial truth about Saint Laurent. Much of what you're paying for is the attitude and the aesthetic, not necessarily superior materials or construction compared to brands that cost significantly less. But middle-class shoppers are drawn to Saint Laurent because it makes them feel cool and edgy in a way that more traditional luxury brands don't. It's the brand you buy when you want people to think you're interesting and have good taste. The fashion crowd loves Saint Laurent, so owning a piece makes regular people feel connected to that world. The brand also creates these iconic items, like their tribute sandals or their sac de jour bag, that become instantly recognizable status symbols. For someone working a regular job, buying Saint Laurent feels like a rebellion, a way to inject some luxury and excitement into an otherwise ordinary life, even if it means eating ramen for 3 months to afford it. Number 7 brings us to Balenciaga, and this is where luxury fashion gets really interesting and controversial. Balenciaga has become one of the most talked about brands in recent years, known for their avant-garde designs, ironic takes on fashion, and sometimes baffling price points. Under creative director Demna, the brand has created viral moments with products like the Triple S sneakers, those chunky, ugly, beautiful shoes that cost around $800 to $1,000 and probably cost $70 to $100 to manufacture. Then, there are the shopping bag-inspired totes that cost over $2,000 despite looking deliberately cheap. Balenciaga has mastered the art of making luxury feel ironic and self-aware. which appeals to younger consumers and fashion insiders who want to signal that they're in on the joke. But here's the thing. The joke is kind of on the customers because they're paying absolutely insane markups for items that are often intentionally distressed, oversized, or made to look low quality as part of the aesthetic. A Balenciaga hoodie can cost $800 or more for what's essentially a basic sweatshirt with a logo. The production cost is probably around $50 to $80. That's a markup of 700 to 1,000%. Middle-class shoppers buy Balenciaga because it's become the ultimate hype brand, the label that fashion influencers and celebrities wear, making it incredibly desirable despite the ridiculous prices. The brand also has significant cultural cachet in streetwear and hip-hop communities, further driving demand among young people who want to signal they're culturally connected and fashion-forward. At number 6, we have Dior, the legendary French fashion house founded in 1947 that represents classic, feminine luxury. Dior has an incredible heritage, with Christian Dior revolutionizing fashion with his new look in the post-war era. Today, Dior remains one of the most prestigious and desired luxury brands in the world. That Dior oblique pattern, the Dior saddlebag, the book tote, these have all become status symbols that middle-class shoppers desperately want to own. A Dior handbag typically starts around $3,000 and can easily reach $5,000 or $6,000 for popular styles. The quality is genuinely good, with bags made in Italy or France using quality materials and construction. However, the markup is still enormous, probably 400 to 500% when you consider actual production costs. So why are middle-class people who might make $3,000 to $5,000 a month before taxes spending an entire month's salary or more on a single bag? Because Dior represents the ultimate in aspirational luxury. It's not just a brand, it's a symbol of elegance, sophistication, and success. Dior has also been incredibly smart about celebrity partnerships and influencer marketing, with countless celebrities and fashion influencers showcasing Dior products on social media. This creates intense desire among regular consumers who want to emulate that lifestyle. The brand also offers entry-level products like lipsticks, fragrances, and small leather goods that allow middle-class shoppers to own something from Dior without completely destroying their finances, serving as a gateway to more expensive purchases later. The psychological satisfaction of owning Dior, of having that elegant packaging and prestigious logo, provides emotional value that goes beyond the physical product itself. Number 5 is Fendi, the Italian luxury house founded in 1925 that's become synonymous with fun, playful luxury, and that iconic double F logo. Fendi has always had a strong leather goods business, but they really exploded in popularity with the baguette bag in the late 1990s, thanks in part to its appearance on Sex and the City. Today, Fendi remains incredibly popular, particularly in Asian markets and among younger luxury consumers. Their bags, particularly the peekaboo and the baguette, range from $2,500 to over $5,000. The quality is solid, with Italian craftsmanship and good materials, but again, the markup is substantial. What you're really paying for with Fendi is the playful, fashionable aesthetic and that instantly recognizable logo. Here's something interesting about Fendi. They've been incredibly successful at creating viral must-have items that drive middle-class consumers to save up and splurge. The FF logo became hugely popular again in recent years, appearing on everything from bags to clothing to accessories. Middle-class shoppers buy Fendi because it feels slightly more accessible than brands like Hermes or Chanel, yet still carries significant prestige and fashion credibility. The brand has also been smart about collaborations and limited editions that create scarcity and urgency, pushing people to buy even when prices are eye-wateringly high. Fendi represents status, yes, but also fashion knowledge and trendiness. Owning a Fendi piece signals that you're not just wealthy, you're also fashionable and current, which is incredibly appealing to people who use luxury goods to build their identity and social standing. Number 4 is Chanel, and now we're really entering the stratosphere of luxury brands that middle-class people absolutely should not be buying but somehow still manage to purchase. Chanel, founded by Coco Chanel in 1910, represents the pinnacle of classic, timeless luxury. The brand has strict pricing controls and creates an aura of exclusivity that makes their products incredibly desirable. The quilted leather bags with the interlocking CC logo, particularly the classic flap bag, have become investment pieces that hold their value remarkably well. However, here's the brutal reality. A Chanel classic flap bag now costs around $10,000 or more, and prices have increased dramatically over the past decade. For someone making $50,000 or $60,000 a year, that's nearly 20% of their annual pre-tax income on a single bag. The quality is excellent, with bags handmade in France using high-quality materials, but the markup is still probably 300 to 400%. So why are middle-class people draining their savings for Chanel? Because Chanel represents the absolute pinnacle of luxury achievement for many people. It's the brand that signifies you've truly made it. The company has cultivated this image of exclusivity and timelessness, marketing their bags as investments that will never go out of style. There's also significant social pressure and comparison, particularly on social media, where everyone seems to be showing off their Chanel bags. Middle-class shoppers, particularly women, feel pressure to own these status symbols to signal success and sophistication. The controversial truth is that Chanel knows exactly what they're doing by continuously raising prices, creating even more exclusivity and desire, even as they push their products further out of reach for the middle-class customers who make up a significant portion of their customer base. Number 3 is Hermes, pronounced Hermes, the French luxury house founded in 1837 that represents the absolute peak of luxury craftsmanship and exclusivity. Hermes is famous for their leather goods, particularly the Birkin and Kelly bags, which have waiting lists, can cost anywhere from $10,000 to hundreds of thousands of dollars, and have become symbols of ultimate wealth and status. Now, most middle-class people aren't buying Birkins, but they are buying other Hermes products like their Oran sandals, which cost around $700, their belts at around $1,000, or their scarves at around $400 to $500. Even these entry-level Hermes items require significant financial sacrifice for someone making an average income. The quality of Hermes products is genuinely exceptional, with items handcrafted in France by skilled artisans using the finest materials available. However, the markup is still substantial, probably 300 to 400%, even accounting for the higher production costs and skilled labor. So why do middle-class shoppers stretch their budgets to breaking point for Hermes? Because Hermes represents the ultimate luxury fantasy. Owning anything from Hermes, even just a silk scarf or a pair of sandals, signals that you've achieved a certain level of success and sophistication. The brand has cultivated such an aura of exclusivity and prestige that even their smallest items carry enormous status value. The orange Hermes box and shopping bag have become status symbols in themselves. For middle-class consumers, buying Hermes is often a once-in-a-lifetime splurge, a reward for achieving a major milestone, or the result of months or years of saving. The emotional and psychological satisfaction of owning something from the most prestigious luxury brand in the world provides value that goes far beyond the physical product, even if it means significant financial strain. Number 2 is Louis Vuitton, the French luxury house founded in 1854 that has become the world's most valuable luxury brand and arguably the most recognized. That brown monogram canvas with the LV logo is instantly identifiable anywhere in the world. Louis Vuitton has achieved something remarkable. They've become both incredibly exclusive and incredibly common at the same time. Walk through any major city or airport, and you'll see Louis Vuitton bags everywhere, yet the brand maintains its luxury status and continues to command premium prices. A Louis Vuitton Spade bag, one of their most popular styles, costs around $1,500, while larger bags and luggage pieces can easily cost $3,000 to $5,000 or more. Here's the controversial truth about Louis Vuitton. Their signature monogram canvas, which is what most people buy, isn't even real leather. It's coated canvas, essentially treated fabric, which costs relatively little to produce. The production cost for a monogram canvas bag is probably around $150 to $300, meaning you're paying a markup of 400 to 1,000% or more. Even their leather bags, while better quality, still have markups in the 300 to 500% range. So why is Louis Vuitton the most popular luxury brand among middle-class shoppers? Because it's the ultimate status symbol that's still somewhat achievable. The brand has created this aspirational lifestyle image through incredibly effective marketing and celebrity partnerships. Owning Louis Vuitton signals success, sophistication, and wealth, even if you went into debt to buy it. The brand also benefits from being highly visible and recognizable. So unlike more subtle luxury brands, everyone knows you're carrying Louis Vuitton. For middle-class shoppers, especially first-generation wealth builders and immigrants, Louis Vuitton represents achievement and belonging. It's also become deeply embedded in hip-hop culture and popular culture generally, making it incredibly desirable across demographics. Louis Vuitton understands their power and continuously raises prices, knowing that demand will remain strong because people aren't just buying bags, they're buying into a dream of luxury and success. And finally, at number 1, we have a brand that might surprise you because it's not a traditional fashion house, it's Apple. Yes, Apple, the tech company. Now, you might be thinking this doesn't belong on a luxury fashion list, but here's the reality. Apple has become the most successful luxury brand among middle-class consumers. Period. Think about it. People who would never spend $1,000 on a designer handbag willingly spend $1,000 to $2,000 or more on the latest iPhone every year or two. They buy $800 iPads, $400 AirPods, $500 Apple Watches, and $2,000 MacBooks without thinking twice. Apple has managed to position their products as both necessities and luxury items, which is absolutely genius from a business perspective. The production cost of an iPhone is estimated at around $400 to $500 depending on the model, meaning Apple is charging a markup of 100 to 300%, similar to luxury fashion brands. The quality is good, sure, but is it really worth twice or 3 times what comparable Android devices cost? The honest answer is no, at least not purely from a functional standpoint, but people, especially middle-class consumers, continue buying Apple products at premium prices because Apple has created a luxury ecosystem and lifestyle brand. Those white earbuds, that glowing Apple logo, the sleek minimalist design, they all signal status, sophistication, and being part of an exclusive club. Apple has cultivated an aspirational image similar to traditional luxury brands, using celebrity endorsements, beautiful retail spaces, and carefully crafted marketing. The genius of Apple is that they've made luxury technology feel necessary rather than frivolous. You need a phone, you need a computer, so why not get the luxury version? This justification makes it easier for middle-class consumers to rationalize the enormous expense. Apple products have also become deeply integrated into identity, particularly among younger consumers, where having an iPhone versus an Android can affect social dynamics and perceptions. The brand loyalty is stronger than almost any fashion brand, with people waiting in lines for hours to buy new releases and defending Apple passionately online. From a pure value perspective, Apple products are absolutely overpriced compared to the competition. But the emotional, social, and psychological value they provide to consumers makes the premium worthwhile in their minds, which is exactly how luxury fashion brands operate. So there you have it, 15 brands that middle-class shoppers continue buying despite knowing they're overpaying, often significantly. The common thread running through all these brands is that they've successfully sold something beyond physical products. They're selling identity, status, aspiration, and belonging. Whether it's a Michael Kors bag for $300 or an iPhone for $1,500, these purchases are about how they make us feel and how we're perceived by others. The markups are real, often ranging from 300 to over 1,000%. But the emotional and psychological value these brands provide keeps customers coming back despite the financial strain. The luxury industry understands that middle-class consumers aren't necessarily buying the highest quality or best value. They're buying into a dream, a lifestyle, and an identity that feels just barely within reach. If you found this video eye-opening, or if it made you rethink your own shopping habits, definitely give it a thumbs up because it helps us reach more people who need to hear these truths about luxury shopping. Drop a comment below telling us which brand surprised you most on this list, whether you own any of these brands, and if you feel the purchase was worth it. Share this video with your friends, especially that one friend who's always talking about their next luxury purchase. Because sometimes we all need a reality check about what we're really paying for when we buy these brands. Remember, there's nothing wrong with buying luxury items if you can truly afford them and they bring you joy. But it's important to go in with eyes wide open, understanding exactly what you're paying for and why. Until next time, shop smarter, not just for the logo, and we'll see you in the next video.